Hey guys, welcome back to the Backlog. We're here once again for another stupendous playthrough of something that, I've beaten before, but must be beaten again. Here we are with Pokemon Yellow Pikachu version. I forget its full name. If you go by the title screen, it says Pokemon Yellow Pika! Version. So, I guess we'll refer to it as that. Either way, we're returning back to the world of Pokemon after a long time of being gone from the main series. Last time I played a main series game on the channel was like my 5th playthrough with Pokemon Emerald. And that playthrough is super long, has no thumbnails, and is just kind of complete trash. So, in memory of all that we've lost, I don't know what we've lost. That, I guess. We lost the title screen. I'm starting to execute on a plan that I've had for a very long time. So, with Pokemon, when I play the main series games, I tend to actually choose a team beforehand and go in with it. Like, whenever I play Pokemon Yellow, I play with a certain team. Whenever I play Pokemon Emerald, I play with a certain team. Whenever I play Pokemon Ruby, I play with a certain team. And that's kind of been something I've been doing for a very long time. But when I first, came up with the idea of the backlog, one of the biggest things that I always wanted to do was play through the entire mainline Pokemon series and build up those teams for a very special occasion. But, I had started with Pokemon Emerald, and I didn't want to start with Pokemon Emerald. I actually wanted to start it here with Pokemon Yellow. Now, what is happening here? So, we're actually not playing this on emulator. We're actually playing this on console. Well, not the exact console it was made for. Pokemon Yellow was made for the original Game Boy. So if you're an oldie like me, you might even have to have been older, you may have known of something called the Super Game Boy, which was an attachment for the Super Nintendo, where you could just plug that in and you could play all your Game Boy games, just your Game Boy games, on a TV. And that's something I've known about since I was pretty young, since, I had borrowed my uncle's Super Nintendo to play his games years ago. I had to return it to him at some point, but, I definitely remember playing with the Super Game Boy. We're not playing with the Super Game Boy, we're actually playing with the sequel to the Super Game Boy, the Super Game Boy 2, which fixed, a timing bug in the game, but it also never released in America. It only actually released in Japan. And the SNES I have, we'll go over the problems it has later, but the SNES I have is an American one. So if you want to, because the SNES is technically region locked, if you want to use those Japanese cartridges, like my Super Game Boy 2, you actually have to go into the console and clip off some plastic to make sure that the game can actually sit flush down, because the only thing that stops Japanese games from being played on an American Super Nintendo is just 2 little pegs inside the console. So it's really dumb. But either way, we're here playing Pokemon Yellow on the Super Game Boy 2 on my Super Nintendo. So this is all real hardware. I've been preparing for this for a couple of years now. I had gotten this, I'd gotten the Super Game Boy and a physical copy of Pokemon Yellow 2 years ago, before I even got into my new apartment. New at this point, 2 years. But the biggest problem was the Super Nintendo was messed up. It was showing blurring lines all over the place, and that was because the capacitors had gone bad in the console. So me and Carter, my friend Carter, had went through an entire journey of desoldering capacitors off of the Super Nintendo board, resoldering capacitors, which was hell. We almost messed up the entire thing. And finally, that fixed the blurring problem. I'll tell you one thing, a new problem has appeared. I don't know if it's recording gear or something, but the game itself is very washed out. It's very white. It's not meant to be that white. It's supposed to be very, very colorful, but, just because I put this entire thing together, and I don't know what's wrong with it currently, because, 2 months ago it was fine. Don't know what's going on there, but either way, I just really wanted to get into Pokemon Yellow and begin my Pokemon mainline journey, because I want to try and go from Pokemon Yellow all the way up to, I guess, Gen 9. I don't know when I'll get to Gen 9, because that could take years. And who knows, Gen 10 might be out by then. But, you know, this is the beginning of our journey to try and get all the way up there. So let's just fucking go for it. I will also say, my Super Nintendo controller, very messed up. Tried cleaning it. It is very inaccurate. But when playing a game like Pokemon Yellow, a Pokemon game that does not require much more brain thought than moving the character around, I think it'll be fine. So, either way, enough talk, enough banter, let's get moving. Anyway, let's see. The problem is that the buttons don't get pressed sometimes. Alright, start this up. I do have a separate save from when I started out, just like seeing if the cartridge would actually keep a save, because I had to buy it off eBay with a cartridge, because if you don't know anything about the old Pokemon games, you actually need to have a battery inside to save. Now I just have a friend that can do that, like, instantly, but, like, I didn't beforehand. So I had to buy one with a new one in it. So either way, first I'm going to go down to options, because I want to see if I can change anything. So we've got text speed on mid, so I'm going to put that on fast. I'll keep the animations on. I want to keep the battle style to set. Sound is mono. Ooh. You can only hear certain parts of it. Yeah, definitely do mono. Print doesn't really matter. So, go ahead and get out of this. And we're just going to start a new game. This feels pretty momentous because this is the first generation. We're going all the way back. So, let's get a move on. Hello there. Welcome to the world of Pokemon. My name is Oak. People call me the Pokemon Professor. This world is inhabited by creatures we call Pokemon. For some reason, Pokemon are pets. For some people, Pokemon are pets. For some reason, Pokemon are pets. For some reason. Others use them for fights. Myself, I study Pokemon as a profession. First, what is your name? Now, it's going to be, as always, you get a choice from names, but we're going to choose our own name. I don't actually know what to name them. Because, like I said before, when I play these games, I usually have a team set out, like, prepared in time for, like, this is what I need to get. But I don't know. Sometimes I have names for the characters. Sometimes I don't. What's a good name? I'll call him... I think I used this name beforehand. I'm going to call him... Dio! It's Dio! Right, so your name is Dio. This is my grandson. He's been your rival since you were a baby. What was his name again? That's a good question. Let's see, what should we name our rival? I don't know. Also, as you can see, there's a border around the game, so you'll be seeing it, like, in a border. It won't be, like, drawn up on your face. Which you may or may not like, but you'll always know that Pikachu's around, I guess. What should we name him? Usually people just call the rival, like, Ass Hat or something stupid, like dicks or butts. Ass. Well, if he's gonna be called Dio, this one's gotta be called... Come on. Yeah, the problem is the controller just sometimes does not take inputs in. Jojo! We must kill Jojo. That's right, I remember now. His name is Jonathan Joestar. So that means, are you... Or he could be Jotaro. So that means that Professor Oak is actually Joseph. Makes a lot of sense. Dio! Your very own Pokemon legend is about to unfold. I don't know why Dio's got Pokemon, but it's gotta be this way. A world of dreams and adventures with Pokemon awaits. Let's go! I will go. Joseph Joestar. Oh, Dio is playing the SNES. Okay, it's time to go. That's a little bit topical, ain't it? Anyway, we're here in the first generation. It's always so mystical going back to the first generation, just because the games were so primitive, but had so many mysteries to so many people. Either way, like always with every Pokemon game, we gotta check out the PC. I will withdraw the one potion that's in here, just one. I will withdraw just one, because there only is one. Let's see. Well, you know, I always felt that someday I had to get out there and murder some people. Let's see. Hey, Mom. I can't even talk to you. I'm directionally disabled, I guess. Right. All boys leave home someday. It said so on TV. Professor Oak next door is looking for you. Man, but I hate that guy. He came to me in my sleep and asked me my name. You know, I think I'll just escape. Doot, 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 doot. Hey, wait! Don't go out! You can barely see him, but there's Professor Oak. That was close! Wild Pokemon live in tall grass. Holy shit, it's not wild Pokemon. It's a wild Professor Oak. I have to fight him. You can barely tell that's Pikachu with the problems that the Super Nintendo has right now. We're still gonna play it like this. It'll be just hilarious to see all the Pokemon messed up. Holy shit, he's gonna fight him with his raw hands. Now he's just gonna turn one Pokeball him. Alright, Pikachu was caught. We got a Pikachu. Pikachu. Whew. A Pokemon can appear anytime in tall grass. You need your own Pokemon for your protection. I know. Here, come with me. I don't usually follow old men into, like, weird houses, but, you know, I know this guy who took pictures with you, and he said you were pretty K. Check out my Pokemon Snap playthrough for that. Yada yada does it. I'll just try and do a stupid Jotaro voice, like when we did 7th Stan User. GG. I'm fed up with this waiting. He just sounds so epic. Jojo! Why are you all here already? I said for you to come by later. Dio! Jotaro! Whatever. Just wait here. Look, Dio! Do you see that ball on the table? I'll just do my shitty, Joseph Joestar impression I did from 7th Stan User. It's called a Pokeball. It holds a Pokemon inside. You may have it. Go on, take it. Hey, Gramps. What about me? Be patient, Jotaro. I'll give you one later. I hate you, Jotaro. Anyway, I guess this is my Pokemon. You can barely tell it's a Pokeball. Jotaro, stop! Jotaro punched me. Dio cries in the corner, being sad. No way, Dio. I want this Pokemon. It's just Jotaro snatched the Pokemon. Jotaro, what are you doing? Gramps, I want this one. But Oh, alright then. That Pokemon is yours. I was going to give you one anyway. Dio, come over here. It's the game of impressions. Can you ever tell the backlog is just actually me doing all my voice acting work? I don't have any. Dio, this is the Pokemon I caught earlier. You can have it. I caught it in the wild, and it's not tame yet. Dio received Pikachu. Do you want to give a name to Pikachu? Well, I always tend to give names to my Pokemon, but I gotta find a good name. I could call it the best name that Tyler ever gave us. I don't know if I want to. No, I'll make a reference out of this. Nah, the game won't understand what this is, but if you know anything about maybe beta content for Pokemon, you might understand what this will be. Let's see. It won't make much sense, but like if you know, you know. Gorochu! Well, now it's... Oh, if you press X, it'll actually turn it into actual regular... what is it called? Game Boy Color or Game Boy regular graphics. So everything's like, you know, messed up. When you press X, it turns it into the Game Boy Color enhanced color things. So, first I want to look at my Pikachu, Gorochu. Let's see what you got, Gorochu. So, Gorochu's got, it's really hard to see him. He's got 19 health, 10 attack, 9 defense, 15 speed, and 10 special. We're in the beginning of the Pokemon series, so a lot of the stuff you may know from modern Pokemon is not correct here. I'm going to try and not relay a ton of stuff, since I bet if you're a Pokemon fan, you know everything about it. But as you can see, there is no special defense or special attack. Special defense and attack are mixed together to create one special stat. So that's your special stat. Let's see, he's got Thundershock and Growl. So, pretty basic, but we'll have to work with it. Alright, first of all, we can mess with this for a bit. I wanted to save real quick, since I want to make sure that I can save over my other progress. The older file will be erased to save, okay? Yep. I am okay with that one. Dio saved the game. I had to make it in caps. Alright, let's get the hell out of here. Wait, Dio. Let's check out our Pokemon. Come on, I'll take you on. Okay, Jotaro. You're approaching me, Jotaro? I have to be like, I'm British. Oh, you're approaching me, Jotaro? It doesn't sound right. Jojo wants to fight. Jojo sent out Eevee. Yes, Pikachu will scream Pika every time he gets thrown out. I actually don't know if it's a he or she, since genders have not been implemented yet, so... we'll have to see it at a much later time, so let's go for a Thunder Shock. Yeah, it's the it's the basic first Pokemon fight that every Pokemon game has. You just beat the shit out of your opponent, and if you can't beat the shit out of them, you use that fucking, but it failed. The tail whip failed. You beat the shit out of them, and if they try and kill you, you use the potion. See, the problem is that Eevee is a much better Pokemon than Pikachu. Eevee's got much better stats, except for speed. Gorochu is faster, so therefore it won. And Eevee's just being stupid. Enemy Eevee defeated. Gorochu gained 97 experience points. Gorochu leveled up to level 6. Oh, I guess I learned Tail Whip as well. Dio defeated Jotaro! Finally, the over heaven timeline has been completed. Yada yada daze. What? Unbelievable. I picked the wrong Pokemon. Dio got $175. Thanks, Jotaro. I didn't know you had that much money. Okay, I'll make my Pokemon fight to toughen it up. Dio. G-san. Yada yada daze instead. He's very intent on smelling me, but instead he'll just be like, yada yada daze. What? Voice crack. Would you look at that? It's odd, but it appears that your Pikachu dislikes Pokeballs. You should just keep it with you. That should make it happy. You can talk to it and see how it feels about you. Just like I did with Kakyoin. I talked to it and it hated me. Anyway. Yeah, Pikachu ain't all that happy with us. If you know anything about the Pokemon anime, this entire game was based off of it, pretty much. Pokemon Red and Blue came out before the anime, but then the anime came out and that became really popular, so they decided to make another version in America that is Pokemon Yellow. It doesn't really change the game at all, except for giving you a starter that is Pikachu, and changing some things around, so it's a bit easier, a bit harder in different places, but yeah. That's not exactly the right history, because first Red and Green were released in Japan, then Blue version was released in Japan, then Red and Blue was released in America, then Yellow was released in America and Japan, so very much. Anyway, now that we have our Pikachu, we may now continue. This is going to remind you a lot of our Pokemon Infinite Fusion playthrough, because literally, Pokemon Infinite Fusions is just Gen 1. But, you know, you have more Pokemon and fused Pokemon. Holy shit, it's Rattata, time to fucking murder it. I always wanted to kill Rattata using my Gorochu. But yeah, if you don't know what Gorochu is the junked evolution of Raichu. Like, originally in the, beta or, like, early stages of Pokemon Red and Green, they had originally thought they should give an evolution to Raichu, so it would go Pikachu, Raichu, then Gorochu. But that never actually ended up happening. Instead, they gave it a pre-evolution in later games. But I bet a lot of people still remember Gorochu, and whenever I see its sprite, I just like, that looks way cooler. Why couldn't we have had that? I mean, I already like Raichu more than Pikachu. Sadly, Pikachu will never become a Raichu in this game. Apparently, even if you try and trade a Raichu over to Pokemon Yellow, it'll not accept it. It'll be like, nah, you can't trade that here. They pretty much removed Raichu from the entire game to make sure you could never evolve him. Which is like, you know, coincides with the anime where Ash never evolves Pikachu. But as a Raichu fan myself, it's kind of sad I can never get that. As you can see, sometimes my controls are a little bit messy. Like, I'll stop walking. I'm still holding the control button. That's the controller being a piece of shit. Hey, you came from Pallet Town? Yes. It's taking you a while to say anything. You know Mr. Joestar, right? His order came in. Will you take it to him? Dio got Oak's parcel. Finally, I could change that to, like to Joseph's parcel. It doesn't make any sense. I'm just gonna guess that my character is a very big JoJo fan, and just ended up, like, basing his entire life around JoJo Part 3. Even though, yeah, technically, the third part of JoJo's came out before, like, Pokemon, any of the Pokemon games first released, so, yeah, technically, if you were a random Japanese kid back in the 90s, you probably would have maybe read some of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and been like, yeah, I'll name my character Dio. That could possibly happen. So either way, let's go talk to Joseph, as I keep calling him. Oh, Dio! How is my old Pokemon? It's not really your old Pokemon. You just caught it 5 seconds ago. He says that even in Red and Blue, which your choices in Red and Blue are the starters of Gen 1. And it makes sense because he had owned them before. He has not owned this thing before for like more than 5 seconds. Well, it seems to like you a lot. You must be talented as a Pokemon trainer. What? You have something for me? Dio delivered Oak's parcel. Ah, this is the custom Pokeball I ordered. Thanks, Dio. He actually likes Dio. By the way, I must ask you to do something for me. Gramps. I can't do a good Jotaro voice. Gramps, my Pokemon has grown stronger. Check it out. Ah, Jojo, good timing. I need to ask both of you to do something for me. On the desk, there are my invention, Pokedex. It automatically records data on Pokemon you've seen or caught. It's a high-tech encyclopedia. Dio and Jojo, take these with you. Dio got Pokedex from Oak. Somehow they just teleport off that table. To make a complete guide on all the Pokemon in the world. That was my dream. And to kill cars, but, you know, I finished that one pretty easily. But I'm too old, I can't do it. So I want you two to fulfill my dream of going to Egypt and killing Dio. Oh wait, he's already here. Get moving, you two. This is a great undertaking in Pokemon history. Alright, Gramps. Leave it all to me. Dio, I hate to say it, but I don't need you. I know, I'll borrow a town map from my sis. I don't have a sister, my mom, I guess. Holly. I'll tell her not to lend you one. Dio. Anyway, I guess Jotaro is the villain this time. Dio is the real hero. Dio is the hero. What a good line. Anyway, we never did this back in Pokemon Infinite Fusions, but yes, if you go over to Professor Oak's house, talk to this girl, Grandpa asks you to run an errand. Here, this will help. Dio got a town map. Yeah, you can pick up a town map here. Even though sometimes they're just placed in Pokemon centers, it is, well, it's a lot more useful if you want to know where you are, I guess. Unless you're cool like me and you just know everything about the old games. And therefore, you can always tell where you are. I don't know the exact route numbers, but I do know, like, you know, where to actually go. So, sure, we have Gorochu the Pikachu with us, but we need the rest of our team. And I'll tell you, 2 of our team members are very close. Horribly close. They live very close to the beginning of the game, so we'll be collecting, like, half of our team by the beginning of the first episode. But yeah, we're here to buy some stuff. First of all, I need a singular potion. Grab that. Then I need just a massive amount of Pokeballs. I don't need a massive amount, but, like, we are going to be catching a lot of Pokemon in this run, more than I usually do in any Pokemon game, just because I need it for a very specific reason. So, first of all, we're going to go over this way to the place where it leads to the Pokemon League. We're actually going to run around in here and see if we can find our 2 teammates. So, oh boy, my head kind of hurts. I think it's because I've been playing Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga all day. Mostly just because I wanted to complete that playthrough and get to Pokemon Yellow. I want to see our new friends. I want to see our new team. That's our first member, a Mankey. Mankey is pretty cool, but it's very overlooked in these games. Just because there's better fighting types, and the fighting type in general is not all that great in Gen 1. It has barely any good moves, Most of the good moves are on, like, a single Pokemon. And, well, they're just not good against a lot of stuff. With Psychic types being insanely powerful, there's no really good point. Alright, Mankey was caught. Alright, what should we name Mankey? I don't know. They gotta come up with a good name. Mankey, pig Pokemon, an agile Pokemon that lives in trees. It angers easily and will not hesitate to attack anything, especially us. Let's see. Monkey. I could call it something really dumb. I could call it Harambe, though it wouldn't be a good Harambe. What should I name Mankey? Coconuts. First of all, it'll be a reference to just, I guess, monkeys liking coconuts. I don't really know much about that. But it could also be a reference to the Sonic character of Coconuts. Everybody's favorite character from Sonic, from The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, Coconuts. Good shit. Good shit. So we've got Gorochu, a Pokemon that never existed, and Coconuts from Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. What a good combo so far. Alright, so now we just have one more Pokemon we need to grab in here. It's not Spearow. Though it would be a good idea to catch a Spearow early. Maybe. Maybe. Because we are going to have to catch a ton of Pokemon. I think I need at least 50 different species by a certain point in the game for something very, very important. Let's go ahead, keep walking. Alright. It's another Mankey. Is it here? I remember it being here, but it could just be against my memory if I don't remember actually seeing it here. But I definitely remember. Definitely remember catching one here. It might just be a little bit rarer of a spawn, so I hope it's not horribly rare. It is weird to see all the colors washed out like this. Most emulators will, like you know, let out all the lines pretty easily. Close, but no cigar. Close, but no cigar. Let's kill this one. It is also helping me grind up Gorochu a bit. Since I do need Gorochu to be at least, you know, kind of strong. Not amazingly strong, but I do need it to be, you know, able to deal with some threats early on. Okay, you got this. It's somewhere in here. Nope, nope, close. Close, but nope. Close, but nope. I also need to start training Coconuts, since Coconuts needs to be, like, able to do stuff for the next fight that's coming up. See, it might require me do some grinding off screen, because I'm probably going to catch this last Pokemon and then do something different and then end the video. Let's see. It's got a high speed. It's got 19 speed. That's not really helping, since it's outspeeding everything, but it's not strong enough to really kill anything. This is not the one I want. This is the wrong route. This is the wrong route. Repeats that repeatedly. Repeats that repeatedly. A better phrase would be repeats indefinitely. That would be more correct. But who wants to be correct when it's the backlog? No corrections. We do it all live. Except for the times where I have to cut out things that are against community guidelines, which have only happened once so far. And I pretty much told everybody what it said right on screen. What I said. Let's see. Ugh, come on. Is it really that rare here? Like, I've only encountered, like, 3 different Pokemon. There should be that one last one. Just gotta figure out why it isn't spawning. Yes, hit me with your tackles. I'm not gonna help all that much. Come on. At least Gorochu's getting a good amount of experience. Come on. It makes it even worse with the controller being a little bit messed up. There we go. We're picking up a Nidoran female. Please do not kill it, Gorochu. Actually, let's just try and throw a Pokeball at it. I don't want to have to try and... No, don't use that. I don't want to have to try and chance it. And be like, oh, I just knocked it out. I have to walk around for another 5 minutes. 2. Ah. Just tackled me. I'll give it another try without, like, doing anything. If it doesn't work, I might switch over to Coconuts and do it. It should have more defense than a regular one. Okay, don't kill. Okay, thank God. I was like, don't kill. Do not kill. That would be very cringe. Let's see. We're going to go down here. I'm going to throw this. Come on, get in the ball. 1, 2, 3. Close. I'm like, 3. Okay. Yeah, Pokeballs in this game don't look exactly the same as Pokeballs later would, or even as they're shown right now on the border screen. They don't have the button. Anyway, we caught Nidoran female. Just gotta come up with a name for this one. Huh. Nidoran female, poison pin. Mild-mannered Pokemon that does not like to fight. Beware of its small horns that secrete venom. Let's call it... Let's see. What to call it? You know what? Another Sonic reference, I guess. Or should I make it a Sonic reference? Yeah, fuck it. I will call it... It'll take me a second because of the stupid button problem. It's getting better the more I use it. I think I'm just getting more used to it. Vanilla! So now we've got Coconuts, Gorochu, and Vanilla. Quite the mixture. 2 Sonic characters, and one that's like a fakey Pokemon that doesn't exist, but did exist. Very confusing. I'd also just like to imagine that my Pikachu has like 4 arms, because it's like Goro from Mortal Kombat. I think Mortal Kombat 1 has come out by the time this gets released. I don't care enough about it. Like, I played some of 11, didn't really like it. I at least watched the story, but then just, like, didn't care afterwards. So maybe the story's good, maybe the game's good, I don't know. Just not the biggest fighting game buff anymore. I used to like them at least kinda, because I had friends to play with it, but a lot of my friends are working more and more, and I don't have... my friends that don't work don't really like fighting games, so it's like... Anyway, the last thing I want to show off for this episode is this. So, Pikachu, as we saw earlier, if you talk to it... Pikachu. And it doesn't really like us that much. This is the first game to implement a kind of friendship system. So, if I go ahead and check that Gorochu's health is at 23, meaning it's at full, now, if I use the potion on them repeatedly, it'll actually make Gorochu like us. Yes, that is how you increase its friendship by breaking the game. Usually, it'll just increase by walking around, leveling up, beating fights, and stuff like that. But if you want to cheap out the system, all you do is sit here and use a potion on it repeatedly until it's like infatuated with you to a massive point. But yeah, the reason you want Gorochu or just Pikachu in general to actually, like you is just because of very specific things. So we'll get to it when we get to it, but just remember, we gotta use a lot of potions on this thing, like a massive amount of them. We don't actually have to do it now, we have to do it a bit later, but, it's just a good thing to show that can be happening. As it shows, it's a lot happier, so that's good. I also want to check and see. I keep on pressing X. That doesn't do anything other than change that around. Let's check on Coconuts. So Coconuts definitely has a good attack stat, I guess. What attacks has it got? Scratch and Leer. And then Vanilla, the Nidoran. It's got stats all across the board, and it's got Attack, Roll, and Growl. So I will probably off-screen at least work a bit on their levels. I'm not going to continue to anywhere else. I'm just going to, grind in the basic areas. It's probably not the best for me to do because it'll mess up some stuff, but, I'd like to be strong enough to, beat some stuff. So either way, I hope you'll come along with me for this journey, and I'll see if my SNES survives the entire thing. And before I end this episode, I want to thank all of my YouTube members, including the Disciples of Epsilon, Trey Lafari, Gray, Phoenix, Shell Bagan and Hummus, Darcy Lanfranco, Freddy, and Yuki. Without you all, this channel wouldn't stay afloat. So thank you for all your support, and I'll see you guys next time!